Green has such a personality, she just she's tricky to like.
Oh, I took it. Sorry. Sorry, you up? No, it's your light. I don't need a light. Go all the light on.
Not her lights.
Oh.
Now, when we did the Christmas crash down at Redlands, Meg told an absolute brilliant story that she's never told here before. So those of you who were there would have heard it. And I asked her particularly to say it tonight because it's just a beautiful story, and it's the mice and the Christmas tree. Thank you. Meg,
Be aware that I'm on my best behaviour, and really I tell these stories so that you will tell them to the children in your life or to yourself in a quiet moment. This story was a request from Anne. Could I tell a Christmas story? Oh, not easy. Had to be 8 minutes long. Oh, right. So anyway, this is the best I could do. It goes something like this. Long ago and far away, in a neat little red wooden house in a village in the heart of Norway, there lived a family of house mice, safe and snug in the gap behind the pantry wall. There was quite a few of them. You know how mice are. There was Ma and Pa and Grandma and 7 little mouseskins, all there snug and safe. They knew the rules. They knew to watch out for the cat. They could sneak out through the pantry past the pickled herrings and watch out. But they learned so much from watching the humans, the people who lived in that house. So when it came to Christmas and this was deep snow outside, they had their little rituals too. They cleaned out where they lived, their little mouse area, but they used their tails to dust it clean. And they got food ready. Ma had saved a little bit of cheese for later on. And they did all the things just to make the Yule Christmas Eve special. And a nod from Ma, Pa would roll out a big pine cone. Well, it was big compared with them. And he would stand it up on end, and the little nicekins would run around all excited. And then Pa would just conveniently go outside very quickly and come back in dragging some cobwebs, and he'd drape those cobwebs over the pine cone. Once it was all right, the children, the mice, would all line up in front of the tree ready for their presents. Each year they got a nut. Sometimes it was a peanut, sometimes it was an almond, depends what had been stolen from the larder. And then once they'd finished their nut, Mother would go back down the line with a piece of dark chocolate and just hold it under their noses so each mouse could get a sniff of heaven. And then it was time for the songs. They would grab each other by the tail and circle the tree and sing all the songs they knew, carols, sing-songs, any songs they wanted. And just like the humans upstairs, they just loved to dance around the tree. And when they were finished, it was just time for one more game of blind man's bluff before it was lights out. Well, they had a great time, squeaking and squawking and running, and they ran everywhere around the place. And Grandma, well, she just sat in a rocking chair and just finished the knitting that she had to do for Christmas presents. And when it was finished, Mother and Father Mouse said, "That's it, everybody, that's our Yule, we've had a good Yule now, come on, time to go to bed, lights out." And it was then that one of the mice, the littlest one, said, "No, I don't want to go." And I said, "Oh, for goodness sake, no, what nonsense is that? Come on, upstairs, off you go." But it was then the eldest said, I told them about the real big tree upstairs." And I said, "No, You know you're forbidden to go exploring up there. It's got big stars on it, said the littlest mouse. And they shine. We haven't got that. Well, Mother was furious, but Dad said, well, you know, the littlest was his favourite. It is Christmas. Come on, kids, follow me. And he led them out of the hall. Mother said, oh, go quietly, don't make a noise, someone might hear, it's so dangerous up there. But off they went, through the walls and the partitions, and all the way through to where there was a crack in the skirting board in the main room. And there, the light shone through from the fire. And as they looked out, they could see the tree. Each little mouse snuck out and stood in front of the crack in the skirting board and said, look how tall it is, it touches the ceiling. And look at those baubles. And then the littlest one came out the front and said, but where's the stars? And it was then that Mother, gasping and clutching her belly because it was rather large, gave up trying to get through the crack in the skirting board. She got a dizzy fit and she leaned towards something and pulled, I think it was a cord, because suddenly the tree lit up with stars and all the mice cheered. Hooray! It was beautiful. Imagine these little mice all tittering around the bottom of the tree. Oh, look at these, look at the flags, look at that red, oh, look at that soldier, oh, look at the tinsel, look at the flag, oh, it's beautiful. They were going round and round the back, and they even went in amongst the packages that were underneath their boxes. And I don't know who it was who found the truck, but in no time at all the little mice were in the back, and Dad was in the car. Imagine that, like when suddenly the engine started and Dad got a hold of himself and the wheel and drove. Out came the truck from underneath the tree and it began to veer across the floor. Well, Mother was calling out, don't make a noise, but too late. Dad was getting a hold of this and the kids in the back were all squealing and clinging together. As they drove past Mum, they all waved. And round they went, and they were just coming to the door when it clicked open. And all the mice in the back of the truck all clumped together, for in came a big brown cat with a tail that stood up and waved. And Dad made the truck go faster. It went fast and round, and he headed behind the tree. When they came around the other side, the cat was sitting on the mat, waiting for them. The truck came round and the cat swiped at them with a claw. All the mice squealed, and round it went again. Dad was holding on so hard it was like he couldn't straighten the wheel, but it kept on going round the back of the tree, and round it came again, and cat, woof! Kid all ducked in the back, and round again. They were squealing. Mother was feeling like she was going to faint watching all of this going on. And then, as they were coming around for a third time, the engine began to slow. Luckily, Dad had his wits about him. He hadn't had a beer yet. And he got the truck, in between the parcels. And as soon as he got in between the parcels and stopped, everybody out, he yelled, up the tree. Next thing, 7 little furry creatures up the tree and started dangling from the highest branches. Dad was there too. It was then that the cat got up and stretched rather elegantly. She said, come on down. This is not the night for catching. But the eldest boy said, oh no, we know about you, we know about cats. You torment mice, we're not coming down there. Cat said, Christmas Eve is the only time I'm nice to mice. You're safe, but only until tomorrow. Oh. She posed herself, stretched and cleaned her claws in the mat. The mice looked down and watched as she picked herself up and walked back across the floor and towards the door. But before she left, she called back, "You better watch out. I'll be looking for you tomorrow," and was gone. And the door clicked behind her. Well, when that happened, all the little mice came running down the tree. Dad said, "Quick, quick, quick," and you call a group of mice like that a mischief, by the way. A mischief of mice run around skirting boards and back into the crack and down and back and back and back and back. And eventually they got home safely. Oh, well, Mother was there. Grandma just couldn't believe it. She made some tea for her to calm her down. And the mice, well, oh, that's it. Mother made them all promise they would never ever go up to the human part of the house again. The little mice stood with their paws behind their back. And that they would never give cheek to the cat. And that they would always do as they're told. And the 7 of them said, "We promise." But after they did that, they went into their pockets. And out of their pockets they took little bits of tinsel. Or a little flag. Or a little bit of cotton wool. And they took those little pieces that they'd stolen from the tree and they put them on their own tree. And so that was how, ever after that, there was always a good story to tell the children about the Christmas. The mice had a real tree of their own.
You'd love the other one. This is yours,
Thanks, mate.
Megan.